Okay, so I didn't really prepare anything. I will make this off the cuff and I will just take this through with all the errors or not, because I actually completely forgot to make this video. I wanted to compare the Huawei Nova with the Honor 8 already like a few weeks ago, but since I was buried in reviewings, I completely forgot that. So I don't have either devices on hand, so I won't make a side-by-side comparison, but that makes it easier and quicker for me, and I will just talk about it. I will give you all the information about that, so don't worry. But since I didn't really prepare it, I just want to answer this as a casual answer. If I would maybe give someone a proper longer answer if he asks me in person. Okay, let's start with the design. And considering both devices are priced at around the same point after all, because I've seen a few countries where the Nova is a lot cheaper. So if we compare both at around 350 to 400 euros, this should be kind of fair. But if you live in a country where the Nova is available like for 300 or less, of course you can see things a little bit different. So let's start off design. The Honor 8 feels like a $500–600 device without any problems. It feels great. Really quite compact for its size, but very premium. But I have to say one thing, the Huawei Nova feels like a $700–800 device. It could be the Pixel in terms of price because it is made so well. With 5 inches, it's also a little bit smaller and lies a lot nicer in the hand. And in terms of in-hand feel, buttons and premium overall design, curved and everything else, it is the best 5-inch phone that I've had in my hands in terms of premium but also comfortable feel. So don't get me wrong, the Honor 8 feels great, feels premium and all that, but especially people who don't like the glass on glass so much, they will prefer the Huawei Nova for sure. Now in terms of display, I would actually say it's pretty much the same. I did not really notice any difference. I would need a side-by-side comparison. Both are excellent displays, very nicely calibrated, bright, sharp, so good that I won't really choose a winner here. Both are on par, both are great. When it comes to the sound, I will give the win to the Honor 8 because it has not just the better headphone jack, but it also has the better speaker. It's just a little bit richer and a little bit fuller, also louder. The Nova speaker is, as I said in my review, absolutely solid. It is usually loud enough, so no problems here, but it sounds a tad weaker, so that's why I give the win after all, especially also due to the headphone jack qualities to the Honor. Now in terms of performance, you would think that the Honor 8 performs a lot better, and I would say kinda, because it is smoother, so it has kind of higher refresh rates, at least in terms of perception, and it overall feels quite snappy as well. But there are a few things about the Nova that I found to be better, because the scrolling for me seemed a little bit more consistent. The Nova had a few more micro stutters here and there, nothing that you really should bother about, and it is an absolutely flagship performer. But something about this Snapdragon 625 is that I like so much, and it was the actual snappier device, because especially some of the multitasking gestures that I usually did work just a little bit faster on the Huawei Nova. And what I noticed on the Honor 8, if you hit the recent tasks button, you can't always immediately hit the task to switch to the app. Sometimes you have to just wait for a bit, otherwise you tip and nothing happens. There is a little bit of a delay that I did not see on the Huawei at all, on the Nova. But the Huawei Nova had one issue that really annoyed me a lot, which is more of maybe a display issue, that I couldn't make the left swipe to delete something on SwiftKey. So overall, yes, the Honor wins in terms of performance, but actually I don't think the performance difference is big enough to make the deciding factor here for this phone. Really odd to see, and I did not expect it, since after all it has the flagship specs on the Honor side, where the Nova is a mid-ranger, but the 625, especially since I already have that on the Moto Z Play, for me is a pretty much flagship chipset. Okay, that we covered. In terms of battery life, I am not actually 100% sure how long the Honor 8 lasted. I know it lasted a long, but I also know at least that I think the Huawei lasted about an hour longer, because I could reach like, I think 7 hours or more on that in normal use, where I was at 6 around on the Honor. So both are absolutely performing great, but if I don't get it wrong, especially the sample rain was after all better on the Nova. Now software, pretty much the same. You have a few additions though on the Honor, because you have the fingerprint reader that also acts as a button that you can use it for double tap, long press and similar stuff to launch applications. That is good. And we have the knuckle gestures and a few more things, but if you really are talking just about the basics, it's pretty much the same system. Shouldn't make the difference. And then there is the camera. And if you are just talking about stills, I would say go for the Honor 8, because after all it has the Leica dual lens system and it works so great. But I personally just wasn't all that blown away in terms of video. So if you are maybe a little bit favoring more towards the video side, I would actually say go to the Nova, because the Nova had an actually quite good video camera. It also had 4K and so on, so I was actually pleased with it. And the pictures themselves actually looked quite good as well. So if you want the best combo, maybe actually go for the Nova. If you want more for pictures, of course go for the Honor. But personally, since I'm not all that much of a photographer or video maker, I could go with either way, would be happy with either one. And it's really down for what you come. The Nova is actually a really good camera. So in the end, which one should you get? No, as I have already said, if it comes down to value, I think after all the Honor offers more. It has the slightly better camera for pics, maybe the ever so slightly better screen, which should not be the deciding factor. The speaker could very well be with the headphone jack. It feels a little bit bigger in the hand, but also premium, glass on glass, of course, as I said. But it is also bigger if you maybe want a slightly more compact phone. The Huawei is the choice for you. And the performance is a little bit smoother, but it has a few more micro stutters more. Now, if you consider the Nova to be priced at around the same or almost even more, at least here in Germany, sometimes it's even priced higher. Yes, the value is not that great, but it is an overall wonderful phone after all, because the in-hand feel makes a lot up for that, in my opinion. Battery was super solid and the overall qualities were on such a high level that I would say it's actually really comes down more to personal preference. What you want, a more compact phone with overall still great qualities, or do you want the flagship phone just for the specs or so? So I wouldn't really call one a level higher than the other, which I thought at first, because when I reviewed the Honor I was so blown away and I thought that the Nova has no chance after all. But using it, and you really have to use it in real life, use what most people wouldn't really care about, the slight little performance differences or other things. So I won't judge, because I have a hard time, because I like the Nova so much in terms of in-hand feel that it would make almost up for it. But of course, if you want to feel like you have gotten more for your money, the Honor is the way to go for, and that's where I will leave it. I hope it was helpful, and just keep in mind if you are maybe considering the P9 Lite as well, I will make a video for that as well. So I hope you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave any questions if you have any still in the comments below, and I wish you a nice day. Until next time, bye.